Okay, we are live for today's webinar. Hi everyone, good evening, good morning to people living in the other side of the world. It's nice to have you here. Today you are going to understand the roadmap to, to become a DevOps engineer, and we have our expert today. So if you are just joining in also on YouTube, just leave us a hi so that we know you're here. And if you have been regular on our webinars, just leave your name and the city that you're from on the live chat on YouTube or also on Zoom. Yes, we've already started getting questions. Yes, you will get the recording. You'll get the answers to these questions in a while. But before that, quick introduction. My name is Aparna, and I'm going to be your host for today. You are going to understand how you can build your career and become a DevOps engineer. Okay, so before we start, I would love to know your introductions as well. Give me your name and the city that you're from. People in India, leave the name of your city. People outside India, just try to leave your name along with your country. That'll really help us address you better because we can't really read from your names, from your email IDs. I mean, okay, people on YouTube, yes, already are leaving us a hi. Hi, Deepam Jyoti, Pratap, Manoj, Narendra, Farooq. Good evening, good morning. Yes, we're going to get started in a bit. So the agenda for today is for you to understand how you can build your DevOps career. What is it that you should be doing? What is it that you should be learning in order to do that? Okay, so before I start, a quick introduction. My name is Aparna. If you're just joining in, you know the drill. Please leave your name and the city that you're from. That will really help us address you better. Okay. Hi from Western Europe. Hi, Luca, Diksha, Sayali, Rizwan. Welcome. Welcome to the session. Okay, someone is from Ghana, Jonas. Michael, welcome. Good evening. People on YouTube also, would be great to see your introductions. Good evening, Arkadeep. Good evening, Shashi. If you've already left your introduction, don't have to do it once again. Just for the people. This is for people who haven't put their names on the chat here on Zoom and on YouTube as well. Natasha, welcome. You're from the US. Daniel from Ghana. Okay, amazing. Great. Great to have you guys. And it's also great to see the enthusiasm to learn on a weekday morning or an evening on how you can build your career. It's commendable. Yes. Okay, Wali from Pakistan, Anand from Tirupati, Arkadeep, you're doing electronics. Welcome, Henry. You're from Sierra Leone. Great. Okay, Daryl from Taipei. Welcome, Daryl. Kasim from Kenya. Amazing. Yusuf from the UK. Shashi from Bangalore. So I am streaming from Bangalore as well, and it's nice to have you all here in the session. And like you can all see, the session is going to be about how you, if you have just joined, this is going to be about how you can build your DevOps career. Welcome everyone, people on YouTube and people on Zoom. Right? This is going to be the agenda for today. After we tell you about how you can develop your skills, what exactly you should be doing, how you should go about building this DevOps engineer, you will understand in detail about our DevOps Engineer Masters Program. How is this exactly going to shape you up and help you become a DevOps engineer? Then we'll help you understand the enrollment steps. And after that, we'll take the Q&A. which means quick ground rules. This is for everyone, including people on YouTube. Let's say you have a question. Please use the Q&A box and not the chat box. You know where the Q&A box is. This is different from the chat box. So please use that for any questions you have related to your career, and our expert will be there to answer that for you. And this session is being recorded. So let's say you missed something. Let's say you couldn't hear something. Do not worry. You can refer to the recording and then, just try to understand what you missed. You can expect a follow-up email. Everyone who has attended this session and stays till the end and has given their names on the webinar poll, you should be receiving a certificate along with the recording link. Okay. So remember to stay till the end and answer that poll on Zoom. Now, we'll be launching a lot of polls on Zoom in order to understand your work ex, in order to understand your interest in the program, what exactly is your gap and all of that. And then also we'll give you the poll to enter your name towards the end, not now. Okay, so make sure you stay till the end and submit your name. Yes. If you have questions related to the certificate and anything apart from what DevOps Engineer Career Path stands for, anything apart from that, leave it on the chat box. Our expert will only answer career-related questions, course-related questions, anything specific to becoming a DevOps engineer, you can put it on the Q&A box. And please make sure your discussions are relevant to what is going on. If you have something to say, you have an email ID where you can post your feedback as well. Okay, so is that clear? Are these ground rules clear to everyone? Everyone who's just joined as well? People on YouTube, give a quick thumbs up if you're clear with the ground rules. Yes? Okay, great, amazing. Okay, so we don't do streaming in Hindi, emotional studies. You're from YouTube. Okay, good. All of you are clear, please, because we keep getting these questions and I have to keep repeating these instructions. I don't want the class or the session to be distracted. Yeah. Pragnajit, your question will be passed on towards the end, but if you're clear with the Q&A, your Q&A will be answered towards the end. Yes? Okay, good. Amazing. Amazing. So now that we're all clear about, how this session is going to go, please make sure you stay attentive because the next 45-50 minutes are going to be packed with insights on how you can become a DevOps engineer, right? So before that, let's just understand who we are and what Simplilearn does. So Simplilearn helps you get certified, become upskilled in various domains, starting from AI to machine learning, anything that's a digital skill, to say project management, software development, digital marketing, also cloud computing and DevOps. So you have a huge collection of courses on simplilearn.com. You can check our website and understand which course suits you the best. But today it's going to be about cloud computing and DevOps. You're going to understand about the DevOps Engineer Masters Program. And about Simplilearn, so we've shaped over 5 million careers worldwide across more than 150 countries. And the proof to that is the diversity of people that we have in this session, right? So we've got 40 plus global accreditations and more than 800 plus qualified trainers. So we've got a bunch of awards and that's how we've established a solid name in the industry. Okay, so simplilearn.com is the website where you go and check out all the courses in these domains. Yeah. Now, this is a certificate that I was talking about. So you will receive this towards the end of the session. I'll collect your name, and that's how you will receive the certificate tomorrow or day after. Now, a quick introduction about our expert today. Dr. Tejesh is here. You also saw him introduce himself on the chat a while back. So he's an expert in all cloud technologies, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. He's got a decade and more than that of teaching and mentoring experience, and he's served more than 100 global clients, including all the top tech firms. So, Dr. Tejesh, we'd love to
Yes.
have an introduction as well.
Yes, dear. So, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Tejesh Sivasubrmani, and I'm a master cloud as well as master of 5 technologies, including while we want to deploy the infrastructure, a global infrastructure of high performance computing, mission critical systems, then the DevOps and automation part of it helped a lot in either our previous companies, clients, or a Honeywell, or even Simplilearns into establishing a pure, sheer uh, global take. And when it comes to DevOps too, even though I done on 5 different technologies, DevOps is one common platform that all of the technologies need. It needs and helps in the perfect software development lifecycle, in the perfect automation, and the best thing is anybody can transition into DevOps with very little ease, right? And so some of the clients we have handled is more than almost 71 commercial projects in the last 14 years into teaching almost 10 and a half years and then into various domains. So we'll be having a very exciting information and insights on the masterclass on DevOps. Yeah, dear.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Tejesh, for your introduction. So I'm just going to launch a quick poll. This is for us to understand you even better. We've got your name and your city. We just want to understand how much experience you carry. Hold on before you start typing on the chat. So we want to understand what your work experience is. So you will be able to see a poll on Zoom if you're joining us on Zoom. Quickly answer that and tell us how much experience you carry. I'm going to keep this poll live for exactly 1 minute. People on YouTube, you can leave this answer on the chat, on the live chat. Okay. This is for Dr. Tejesh to understand you as an audience so that he can base his conversation around whatever your work experience is. Yes? Okay. I'm looking for responses on YouTube as well. Yes. Most of you have responded on Zoom. Good. About 75% of you have participated, which is amazing. Okay, Amir, I think you can just leave the session and join back. Maybe I think because the screen share is perfectly working fine. Yeah, yes. Okay, great. So I'm just going to end the poll and share the results. So Dr. Tejesh, if you can see the results here, we have a lot of
Yes.
people, maximum amount of people with the 0 to 3 years, bracket. And then some of them are having more than 5 years. Also, a few of them, 1/3 of them are currently students. So that's the mix of the audience. So I
Yep.
think I'll leave it to you now. Let's understand how they can, how you all can build your DevOps engineer career and what
Yes.
exactly are the steps that you should be following.
Yes. So basically, what is DevOps? I'll try to explain in the definition way and I'll try to explain in the practical point of view. First, the simple and practical point of view. For any software development lifecycle in any domain, let it be AI, data science, just your pure microservices, your infrastructure, your cloud, anywhere, we need that software development lifecycle. And you must have heard, hey, agile management, right? Your project managers use agile management. But what is that agile management a part of? That is the part of something called as DevOps. Linking or combining the transition from the developers developing it, the testers testing it, and then the operations teams trying to manage the production load. Here, the software project manager requires that full curve of that software development lifecycle. And that is where DevOps comes into picture. DevOps emphasizes the full curve of that software development lifecycle, right from agile management to how do you use certain modules of DevOps, such as source code management, infrastructure as a code management, CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development, configuration management, and the better containers. Again, for why? The transition for developing it to making it into a production system, right? So, DevOps combines that dev and ops and helps in that continuous integration, continuous um, collaboration, that automation, and then the continuous deployment. It takes care of that automation process. It takes care of that modern software development lifecycle. The goal, what's the goal when we use all this? To deliver software faster, but with a high quality. We are more in control of the next features and the updates. We are more in control of a continuous feedback loops, feedbacks from the client, but feedbacks from the users also. So in order to deliver the software faster, DevOps is that extension part of your project management, right? And why DevOps important today? The answer we told. How project management is such an important field. DevOps helps that whole curve, and then it helps the business move into development to the production. Adopt your microservices, that is a monolithic or microservices development architectures, and enable faster innovation, scalable solution, so that each team of the development, of the testing, of the operation feels at ease also. That is, we are being part of the team. We are able to not only contribute, but we are able to give that feedbacks and opinions. We are able to understand and help in that entire curve, which makes much more the business transition into the next modern transition also very useful. It supports the ultimate automations, helping team deploy software faster and with fewer errors. Yeah, dear. So this is where people, two side of the people should understand. One is the freshers or people in another career domain. They can transition into DevOps with ease, and it looks a bright future too. A lot of opportunities in all of the domains, in all of the industries, right? It helps you to transition into it. And for also people who are in the domain, it helps you upskill into a more senior position. So here, two types of people should understand. If you are a fresher or a person from another career or another domain, transitioning into DevOps is one of the best transition that happens, and it's a success. You can transition without any prior knowledge into the DevOps, understanding it, building it, and upskilling. And if you people are already in the domain, learning through this course will equip you with a lot of skills that is actually three times more knowledgeable than a master's course in any country, and 10 times less than any of the master's course too. That is our PGP course. So here, the skills that we learn are the programming skills, right from zero to hero course. Programming, all are guided. Materials are there. You don't have to worry if you do not have a prior knowledge on it. There will be resources, trainers, as well as methodologies to conquer it very fast. And then our cloud computing experts. Now we are learning this DevOps, but then which is the modern transition? It is the cloud. Now, long gone are on premises and in premises handling. So, learning DevOps not only on open source, but learning DevOps in the top three cloud provider, that is AWS and Azure, it gives out a lot of expertise and in-demand skills. You need not go for what else to learn. The recruiters will be searching for this guy has all the skills. And then the most modern complicated way to your continuous integration, continuous deployment. Right when the developer develops it, it has to go through a pipeline that you fix. and then the end result should come up. Just like how your simple apps are being updated, your operating systems are being updated, all these go through a CI/CD pipelines. Similarly, your e-commerce applications, the changes, features, suddenly you're shopping and one time you see, hey, there's a new feature. Okay, I think they released a new feature. How does that all work? That works in this automated way of DevOps CI/CD. And then you will also be equipped with what is the modern solution of deployment. I need one-time packaging of my software and then it can be run anywhere. So do I have to do it in my bare servers? Do I have to do it in my bare metal VMs? Or should I do it in my new modern compute, that is container orchestration, or your container orchestration management solutions, that is DevOps, Kubernetes, Dockers, your ECS, Elastic Container Service, Fargate, serverless, or in Azure also, your Azure Container Service, Azure Kubernetes Service. So not only you'll be learning it in the open source, you'll be learning it in the cloud also. Now, once you reach till here, you will be knowing that, hey, DevOps in open source, these are a number of skills that I learn. And then once you learn in two cloud, Azure and AWS, you will get that confidence that in future, if your company requires an Oracle cloud or if your company requires an Alibaba cloud, you can easily relate and conquer on that yourself. So this is one whole package where you learn almost 27 skills and then your resume is full flooded with the most relevant to get that job and you are job ready. Yes, dear. Now, the question arises, how do I kickstart my career? What should I be doing it now? Now, understand, it all is packaged under a very clever step-by-step modules for you. When you join this program, you will easily begin with the most basics, start up and build up a foundational things on programming language, on either some simple DevOps tools, the concepts of that, understanding the cycle, working of that cycle, and what are all the flows, and slowly transition into the DevOps strategies. Get a little bit of handling on the cloud because the question arises again. You know DevOps tools, but you know on premises. Now we are in 2024. My servers and everything are in the cloud. Can you handle? That would be the question. So there you're getting your hands on cloud platforms, the services. How does it operate? What are the basics that I need to know? And then once you learn on the basics of this IT fundamentals, cloud fundamentals, then you go on to the real action where the DevOps tools are being taught. Though you will learn how to use it in open source, that is open source laptop, on premises, everywhere. And then you will also learn proprietary services in AWS as well as Azure. You will get to know the difference. It is like, I know to drive a Toyota car, but then my dad bought or you bought a new BMW. Can you drive? Yeah, because the handling of it is same. Similarly, here also, once you go to that fundamental courses and the cloud courses and go on the DevOps, you would understand these are the same tools, but with a different wrapper or a different company in AWS and Azure, and you will get that strong grip on the services. So once you understand that grip on the services, next is to conquer on the projects where later also we will cover, but that is where a lot of next medium to advanced DevOps tools comes in. And then we work on some real world projects, meaning our courses are structured in a very unique way of modules, learning, experimenting, practicing, and then implementing some case studies on our own, as well as the trainer guidance would be there first. but you would also work on it, and then you'll start having that confidence to deliver and make those or deploy those projects. You also start with just the module and smaller projects, and then you would go to the capstone project, right? So later we'll see how many subjects also, right? So here what happens, you have 27 skills in your hand. You start from basic to intermediate to advanced in a very structured way, and more, you got almost 15 to 25 module and projects, and you have almost 6 capstone projects for you to showcase. You would go to the interview with the confidence, I'm an all-rounder. I am an all-rounder in this. Where would I be deployed? How may I help you? That would be your question, right? And then they would see and test your knowledge and then guide you on your next journey for your career too. Yes, dear. And then certain strategies, right? Because there's a saying, if I want to cut down a tree, I spend 80% of the time trying a strategy to cut and then spend the next 20% trying to cut it. While others are still cutting it or figuring out to cut where, I've already dropped the tree. So, our strategies for the success is focus on automation. That is the DevOps concepts. From code deploy to infrastructure to automation, that is happening everywhere around us. Your cell phone app updates, your OS updates, your e-commerce updates, your banking, your hospital softwares, everywhere DevOps is being used. So our focus is automation. Automate everything, but how with DevOps, right? The developer to the production is your goal. Once you start learning this course, you have a mindset. Okay, my ultimate goal is to automate everything. And how do I do it? Right? So these kind of things we focus on. And then stay ahead with current technologies, right? The current trends. So here the trainer as well as in med would very strategically encourage you to open LinkedIn or news such that yes, social media you're always allowed to browse, but then every day like the 5 to 10 minutes when you browse on the LinkedIn or specific news or blogs related to DevOps or your career, then what happens, that becomes a habit of learning up to date, of learning the current technologies, of learning some latest news. Because you see, DevOps here and there, suddenly some new tool came. How do I use that? Can I better my automation tools? How is the trend like? What kind of maybe simple blogs on this service or that service came up? How do I stay with it? And then collaboration as well as upskilling. So here, the collaboration, you have people to work with, you have your colleagues, you have your mentor to ask, as well as there are some forums where you can join or see. For I can say AWS workshops or AWS skill, Azure Ignite and Azure's official. So we are the official cloud partners, and we would give you certain resource and links into those forums and what's happening around some events and all those things. And then it would be why all this we are doing. We don't want just 6 months to study and forget everything, right? It's like a person learning guitar and then he knows only 1 or 2 songs. No, it should be a continuous part of his lifelong journey. That itself brings up upskilling yourself. Once you upskill yourself, all these strategies are infused in you. Getting your job is just a stepping stone. Getting more promotions, getting conquering in the projects, challenging things to do, up to date to learn, all this comes in handy. And you yourself will become a good industry leader, right? And then that would help you through the path. Yes, dear.
Great. So I think all of you guys have understood the strategies that you should be using to build your DevOps engineer career. And you also understood what kind of skills and what's exactly happening in the industry right now and how you can become relevant, right? I'm sure most of you agree. But let's just try to answer this question here as to what is it that is exactly stopping you from becoming a DevOps engineer. So for this also, I will be launching a quick poll. And as always, Dr. Tejesh will be able to see why do you feel there is a gap? Okay. So here's your question. Yeah. What is stopping you from becoming an expert DevOps engineer? Your answer can be anything. And also for people on YouTube, thank you so much for your previous poll responses, and also your amazing interaction during the session. Just try to answer this poll question on the live chat, please, so that we can see where you feel that gap is and how we can bridge that gap. Okay? Yes. Yes. So about half of you have already responded. I'm going to keep this poll live for another half a minute. And yeah, okay, great. But most of you are telling that you don't have the practical exposure, which is fine, which is exactly what you need, like what Dr. Tejesh said that you need to be able to, have those skills in order to just deploy them right when you join a certain job or when you go to a certain interview. So how you really gain that confidence is through the program. But before that, let's see more responses on YouTube as well. Thank you, Anshit. He feels that this session is amazing. Dr. Tejesh. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So I think let's end the poll here. We've got enough responses. Just make sure you answer within the first 1 minute because, yeah, here you go. Most of you feel, almost half of you feel that you don't have the practical exposure you need to become an expert there, or you feel that there is no there's no course that has a comprehensive curriculum that teaches you everything you need. Some of you feel, okay, pre-recorded videos are hard to learn from. And yes, also, at least 1/3 of you feel that your work schedule won't allow. Some of you are experienced as well or are students, right? So this is where, for all of these problems, and most importantly, for the practical exposure, you have the DevOps Engineer Masters Program, which is launched in collaboration with IBM. Now, what happens here is that you have live virtual classes from industry experts along with curriculum developed by IBM, right? That is the part where you actually learn everything about DevOps. And along with this, you get hands-on experience with labs, with projects, with many course module specific, and also a project towards the end. Okay, so you also have electives from AWS and Microsoft Azure. So this can, become a great all-encompassing package for you to develop your skills. Okay, so the program duration is 6 months, which means you have enough time to learn hands-on, develop your skills, interact with the trainers, and kind of understand what and how you can bridge that gap, right? And we also have something known as Job Assist program, which helps you in your profile building and help you find your suitable recruiters. This is available for Indian and US learners only, but still, you can still find this program useful and it will make you job ready. Like whatever you said here, that you don't have practical exposure, that's going to happen through this particular program. Okay. And let's just break down and understand how each of these elements is going to help you develop that skill. Yes, Divino, you also feel that there's no practical exposure, this is exactly what the program is going to offer, along with live interaction from experts. Okay, so we're going to just break down each element of the program and help you understand how it is suitable and how it is going to help you in developing your career roadmap for becoming a DevOps engineer. And the best part is that you don't need any experience. All you need is to have a graduate degree. So if you just want to jump right into the cloud market, cloud computing industry, this is the right time to be in it. If you have, work experience, great. But if you don't have it, also is fine. You could still be eligible for this particular program. Okay. So, Dr. Tejesh, if you can
Yes,
just take our learners through what exactly does this program have?
yes. So I also see the poll that the common problems, I can't find a program fully comprehensive. I don't have that practical exposure. It's difficult to learn from pre-recorded. Or when the live trainer tries to come to, he goes on a very basic theory type, right? So I don't have enough schedule to. Now, look at this structure for a minute. The entire course is broken down into almost seven core subjects, and then you have 9 to 10 electives. So here, each is the subject, and in the subject, you have almost 5 to 8 modules. Each courses are almost 4 weeks to 8 weeks, or 4 weeks to 6 weeks, and then each step by step, right from the fundamentals, the cloud, the core DevOps, and the practical projects. Keeping the strategies in place, you have subject by subject, starting off with version control, CI/CD with Jenkins, that is open source. And then here, there are almost 5 to 8 modules, meaning there are almost 6 to 7 module and projects. So here itself, right on, you start off with the DevOps fundamentals, implementing it, trying to understand what is the version control or the CI/CD, and then slowly by half of the first course itself, you'll have an idea. Okay, so I am learning 4 skills in one subject. Slowly it'll transition to what is the next most required in my DevOps? Configurational management. Why someone already asked, what do you mean by dev security ops 2? Or how important is configurational management? How important is that infrastructure deployment? Right? So the second subject also connects to that. When you start the second subject there, again it is 5 to 6 modules, almost 5 module and projects, one capstone project or 2 capstone projects. So step by step, conquering strategically, escalating from a basic DevOps to intermediate DevOps and then advanced DevOps. Slowly, the step by step transition happens so that anywhere you don't feel the burden, at the same time, persistently, right? Securingly, you conquer skill by skill, subject by subject, module by module, module end projects, capstone project, that is maximum hands on. So, if anybody looks at the course or the interview, they will just ask, okay, I did PG in DevOps. Now, that is a very vague answer. The moment you explain them, I have done 7 core subjects, almost 42 modules, almost 30 project end, module end projects, almost 6 capstone projects. Now, you are going there as an all rounder. And what is the best is you keep track of everything. It is neatly assigned. Materials are there. Your projects are there. Your notes are there. The live trainer will, and including me and all, will discuss on the projects. You have those step by steps for revision. So once you start conquering it, the Career assistant team will also follow up from mid on how is your revision going up, how is your projects going up, what subject was like little difficult for you. Do you want to redo that again, subject, or you want to conquer it and again later cover that? Once you cover this core, it is for the freshers and people who are doing career transition. Also, it is for people who are upskilling. Your primary goal is PG in DevOps, completing the containerization, container orchestration, monitoring and logging, and implementing it in AWS as well as Azure, right? So not only you will go with an interview saying, I know DevOps, I know all the concepts in DevOps, practical exposure, you will tell, I know to implement it in the cloud AWS, in Azure. I'm an all-rounder. I can fit anywhere. Right now, I'm joining your company, but later I would be a very good industry leader too. This is for the freshers or people who are doing career transition. Now, people who are already in the industry, what will they achieve? They will achieve the most systematic, structured course that not leaving even a single topic or a module and project related to it, conquering 365 degrees on it, as well as giving them a choice on electives. One might come from a project manager side, one might come from a Kubernetes side, one might come from Azure side or DevOps side. Here, he will be able to choose his electives and also conquer. So, for people with already prior experience, 365 degrees plus everything at your disposal. Once in a lifetime, you are learning the next decade or 2 decades. Your foundational knowledge on this would make you a very good industry leaders. Now, at last, just coming back to the freshers and the transition. What about electives? Your primary target would be first the one on the left, covering the PG in DevOps. But then I told you from mid, the career assistants and them, they will start approaching you. Then you will definitely take up to you. The first seven are important, but then in electives, they will at least try to guide you on two to three or four, or if you have capacity for more, one by one others too. So for a fresher or people who are doing career transition, you will have some guidance. We have performance coaches, we have career coaches. You can request for them and then they will also like reach out to you. You will discuss, I am from this background, my interest is here, or out of the 4 or 5 core subjects, I have interest in this. What elective can I take? So they will mold you into, right? A normal alloy, they will mold you into that precious metal, right? They will mold you into that most in demand DevOps engineer. So this is the whole strategy. Simple put, core subjects, elective subjects. Within each subjects, there are modules. And then once within the modules, there are chapters to complete and there are module and projects to complete. And then at last there is capstone project. So at each subject itself you will start making stepping stones, and each time you complete, what is your credibility? You unlock the certification, you get some badges, your resume skills increases, meaning once you complete one subject they will tell, hey, these are all the skills that your resume you can put. All the best for the next course. Once you complete that too, hey, these are the skills that you can put in your resume. So each motivational thing also happens, because see, all we require and we lack is that motivation, right? Including the course, that motivational strength also comes in, which takes you to that perfect molding of your next best self into DevOps. Yes, dear.
Right, great. Thank you so much for detailing and helping them understand what this course offers in terms of curriculum. But there's more. You can also learn all of these tools. I think Dr. Tejesh already mentioned about these tools in the beginning of the conversation. But just a quick roundup of these
Yes.
tools will also help.
So these are some of the skills that you will be able to put. For example, in the basic ones, Linux, you can see Terraforms, you can see Ensemble, and then in the mid-level courses, you can see Docker, Kubernetes, Maven, Kibana, Jenkins. Some of the monitoring tools you can see Grafana. So these are all like those self goodies. Once you cover one subject, it you will unlock and they will notify, hey, you have completed these skills. Now you are ready to put this in your resume. All the best for your next subject. Again, once you conquer that, you unlock, and then these you can put in your skills like that. And also you can see AWS, those DevOps services in AWS, the code pipeline for CI/CD, and code commit for your version control. So these are all put up. Yeah, dear.
Got it. Got it.
But
Thanks.
all of you, just an information, you will be having 27 skills in the complete. This is just a trailer of the most in demand, but still there are other tools that you will be able to put. Yeah, dear.
Yes, understood. And so you were also mentioning about
Yes.
module and project.
So in capstone projects also,
Mhm.
one unique thing of how our approach would be is the way we approach, right? Naturally, your situation and scenario handling capability comes in from that first subject, from that first module and project. They will make you to understand how to understand that business requirement, how to break it down into where our DevOps requirement is, and how do we orchestrate that solution. So, naturally, we have a lot of projects, 6 projects, 7 projects, and you have to select one of them in your interested domain. Or if you don't know which one to choose, there would be the trainer and the career assistant to help you. Once you select the project, you will be able to understand how to break it down into that scenario too, the technical stuff, and then make an architecture and then build. So what are you gaining over here? Not only your projects, but your key takeaway for your interviews and all is a clear and confident speaking to the interviewer. I understand the requirement. I
Mhm.
understand the project. I can break it down, make an architecture, and build a project on that. Right? So that would be your main takeaway.
Got it. Got it. So that's how you build that hands-on experience and become
Yes.
job ready, which is what most of you said, that you don't have the practical exposure to become job ready. So this curriculum combined with learning different platforms and also the projects is going to help you gain that bridge that gap basically, right? Now, the best part is that you get access to this LMS. That's where you track all your progress, basically understand how the whole curriculum is, what your projects are, if there are assessments, if there needs to be a doubt that is clarified. Your LMS looks something like this. Now, obviously, it will be different for the course that you're taking up. So just showing you for this is how, let's say you enrolled in a certain program, you could open a certain course and understand what the curriculum looks like. Okay, so this will be accessible to you towards when you enroll in the program, and your certificate is unlocked after you have finished a certain section of the program. Now, there are also support tools. It's not that you enroll and then, we forget about you. There's 24/7 assistance available to you on anything associated with the course, with your career. It can be, some doubt that you had with a certain module. It could be anything. So you will have, a support section where you can put your query and uh, chat with your advisors, right? So that's about the LMS. Now, just a quick understanding of what our batch profile looks like. Now, there are many success stories for this particular program. You can check this out on the course page as well. But just to give you a quick clarity on this fact that you could be from any background and you could still take this course and find relevant opportunities in the DevOps industry, right? So you don't have to be from the IT industry. As you can see, 40%, nearly 38% of them are from the IT industry. The software and product is nearly 1/3. So rest there's also a great diversity from the other industries as well. And these people come from so and so. If you can see, they come from Netflix, IBM, Amazon, and all of that. So you don't really have to be from the tech industry to become a part of this course. So you remember that DevOps, every industry or every domain is becoming more cloud oriented and DevOps oriented. So you don't have to really work in a tech giant in order to become a part of this course. Okay. So this is a proof that all these people who stepped up, who used this course as their ladder and stepped up and became a DevOps engineer. Mrigank and Jiju Thomas, these are some examples, and there are many more such examples on our course page, right? So towards the end, you get a certificate that looks something like this. I'm just going to share my screen and help you understand, how the course page looks like. So you can see that the next cohort starts on the 12th of October, which is this weekend. So the program duration is 6 months. You get live online interaction with trainers, and you can see this is how the cloud industry is shaping up. So the DevOps is expected to have a 20.5% cumulative annual growth rate. And this, you can expect a salary of about $138K. Okay. This is an average annual salary. Of course, this is picked up from Glassdoor. This could change based on your experience, based on your knowledge and the kind of company that you're working for. But remember that there's potential, and this is the amount of growth that you can expect in the DevOps industry. Right? There are many more such hiring companies. These are again picked up from LinkedIn, Indeed, and Glassdoor. But if you just go on LinkedIn, you will be able to find a lot of opportunities on DevOps, right? So I'm not going to be sharing the exact fee with you. Whoever asked that question, I'm going to share this link with you guys here. You can check the fee details there on the course page. Why we are not specifically sharing the information here is that all of you are from different countries, and it does not make sense to give it in one currency. Okay, so this is why all we need is whether you are interested or not in enrolling in this program. Okay, so I'm just going to launch a quick poll to understand if you would like to be contacted by a learning advisor. You can select yes on the poll. Okay, now remember that whatever we told now, you may have certain questions, apprehensions, doubts. That is where a learning advisor comes in. And let's say you have specific questions to ask about your career, that's where Dr. Tejesh comes in. So you could use the Q&A box for that. But let's say you have course specific questions, anything that's operational, you could put it to a learning advisor through this particular poll. You will be contacted by them. Let's say you live in the US or in the Europe, you should be contacted by them in the next 12 hours. But if you're from India, you can expect a call tomorrow, anytime tomorrow.
Yes. And
Right?
one small hint also, dear. So, all of you participants, you should know this small story. That is almost 6,980, almost close to 7,000 students in Simplilearn. I have taught personally, and I have few hundreds of students, less than like 1,000, which East Coast universities are under my mentorship view. So one thing I can definitely tell is these programs, the postgraduate programs, are almost four times in knowledge, skills, as well as your projects and hands-on, then quite a lot master programs, and it is almost 10 times less the fee. You know how when master, even I myself completed masters and PhD from NYU, you guys know. But then each credit I had to pay $1,000, $2,000 for each subject exam that I write. And then with just like 10 times less the cost, right? You get to get the whole program. It's only when you think, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months? Where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? You logically come into a lot of conclusions. Here, the primary goal is upskilling, being a good employee, being a good industry leader. Think through on that, right? Yes, dear. You may continue. Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much for enlightening them on these credentials as well. It's amazing that you've taught the more than 7,000 people who enrolled in this course. Great. So a lot of you, more than half of you actually are interested in enrolling into this program. People who are raising their hands, just use the poll here to answer your question whether you want to uh, enroll in this program or not, and anything associated with financing options, with your fees, you could ask the learning advisor, because if we might be giving you outdated information. Of course, the course page has every information you need. So if you can just, I'm just keeping the chat box off for a while. If you can head to the course page, you'll be able to find the fees in your region and all the details that we mentioned there you'll be able to find there. Okay. So if you've got any more questions, you could put them on the Q&A box, but I think Dr. Tejas has already answered most of them. So just a couple of questions from YouTube, Dr. Tejas. Someone has asked about how do you make a career in DevOps when someone is from Azure cloud background? So that's the question that
Yes.
this person has.
Yes.
Hmm.
So, like I told you, if I want to break it down, the DevOps into a skeletal structure, it is basically DevOps means first, agile management, second, your source code management, Git, third, your your infrastructural management, infrastructure as a code, fourth, your CI/CD, and fifth, your configurational management services, and sixth is the containers. Now, in these six subjects, if I want to learn in open source, I would go target GitHub, Jenkins, and related to the open source CI/CD, containers, Dockers, and all. But now here Azure, same skeletal structure 6, I should learn in Azure service. Agile management is the same. You have it in Azure repo, and then you have the same one in Azure repo as well as the agile management services. Git, same Azure repo. CI/CD, the Azure pipeline, Azure releases. So these six skeletal structure subjects are there even in Azure. You have to just go conquer on the Azure DevOps, but not forget that the open source ones also required. Similarly, containers, Azure containers. Now, when I want to master on AWS, it is just the AWS. So any person going to the course will understand the secrets. These are all industry secrets. And they have to only once know it while learning. And once they learn, they will be like, hey, okay, any cloud service, any domain, on premises, cloud, or even the Oracle cloud, I know the basics. I can conquer them. It will be like that. Yes.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Tejesh. I think we are done answering most of the questions. Um, Okay, great. I think we are sorted here with the questions. I am also going to close this poll. I think most of you have answered it, right? Thank you so much again for your interest in the program. Like I said, if you have any more questions, please head to the course page and you could leave a question on for the learning advisor to answer to you. You can also download the course brochure, download the syllabus and understand that in detail. Okay. So that brings us to the end of this session, but we still have some more, some more to go. Most of you are asking me about the recording and also the certificate, right? But before that, let me just quickly close and talk about the enrollment steps. So it's very simple. You just head to the course page and then fill in your details, fill in your application. And then there's an application review that happens just to see if you are a fit your profile is a fit. Basically, if you meet the eligibility criteria that I mentioned earlier, and then a learning advisor gets in touch with you, giving you a confirmation that you can go ahead and enroll. And once you pay the course fees, when you get the access to the LMS and all the learning resources. Okay. So the upcoming cohort, like I said, is coming up very, very soon. So in fact, this Saturday, 12th October, is when the cohort starts. So remember that we have very few seats remaining for this particular program. It's a good time to enroll if you haven't really thought about it. This is a great time to start thinking about and actually take the decision right away so that you are a part of this cohort itself rather than wait it out. Okay. So any closing thoughts you have, Dr. Tejesh, before we head to the certificate section?
Yeah, dear. So my only key takeaway is strategy and plan a very secure future for yourself. Just think on where do you see yourself in the next 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years. The world will conspire to take you to that winning seat and position. And then we already gave a guidance to the most rigid, structured, hands-on hero to zero course too. If it matches yours and it is feasible in your game plan of your life, don't wait for it. Yes, dear.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Tejesh, for your time today. So he will meet you with another session very, very soon. So I think you don't have to submit your certificates here, but I think we're done here, Dr. Tejesh. If I don't think there are any more questions, if there are anything, you can just reach out to us on askus@simplilearn.net. If it's about the course or about your career, just leave your questions there. Great. Now, quick thing about your certificate, but before the certificate, I also want to get your opinion on how you enjoyed the session. So I'm just going to launch a quick poll again. That's how we can collect the information as to how much you loved our session. Just quickly give us a rating on 1 to 5, and that will really help us. Yes, so that's Dr. Tejesh's LinkedIn profile for any one of you to reach out to him. Yes. Yes. Okay. Another 10 seconds, and then that's all. I'm going to keep the poll live just for that quick 10 seconds because you guys also have to submit your names for the certificate, right? Okay. Okay, exactly 10 seconds, and I'm ending the poll. Thank you so much. I'm also sharing the results here. Most of them, at least half of them, liked the session. They've given us more than half of you, in fact, given us a 4 and a 5. Glad that you guys loved the session. We also enjoyed hosting it. Now is the time for the most awaited certificate poll. Yes, you will be getting a certificate, but what happens is you guys don't give the name here and you don't know where to give the name, and then you reach out to us on the email, right? So I suggest use the next 1-2 minutes to submit your name, full name. I have launched a poll on Zoom in order to submit your full name. If you have attended this session and you have submitted this poll, you should be getting a certificate in the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay, so just make sure you enter the name here only. That is how we record your attendance. Otherwise, we don't send the certificate. Okay, so remember that it does not go to everyone who has attended and left. It is for people who have stayed till the end and utilize this session the best way possible. So just make sure, and I can see only half of you have entered the name. And we receive tons of emails every day asking for the certificate for sessions that have already been done. So in order to save your time and ours, just make sure you submit your name here. No, Michael, you need to put it on the poll. I'm going to switch off the chat and also, the questions are almost done. Solomon, your question was already answered by Dr. Tejas a little earlier. Please put it on the poll and on the poll only. Okay. I can only see half of you have responded even now. Yeah, the reason why we collect these names is that obviously the name on your certificate shouldn't be wrong. Okay. And for people still wondering where you can see the course details, here you go. That's where you can find all the course details. And if you feel that you are still interested, people on YouTube, you will find the link to the course in the description. Please go there. Someone has asked how you can enroll in the session. Joshua, you can just click on the link in the description of this video, and that's where you will find it. Okay? Okay. Great. I think 10 of you remaining. Please make sure you put the poll here. And rest of you, if you don't have anything else to ask, you may leave the session. There's nothing more that we'll be covering. Again, it was wonderful bringing you this session, the middle of the week. Glad that you took out the time to learn something today. And I hope that you use this information to the best of your advantage. Yeah, and we also look forward to seeing you in the course. Dr. Tejesh can't wait to teach you live as well, just like what he did today. Okay.
Yes.
Great, amazing. I think we have most of the responses. And please restrict your questions. If you do ask us at simplylearn.net, please restrict your questions to the course. Rest of the questions, Dr. Tejesh does not have access to that ID. So please, you could connect with him on LinkedIn, or we'll be hosting more such sessions on upcoming cloud innovations, anything that's happening in the cloud computing industry. We'll be the first ones to bring it to you. Okay. Great. Thank you so much. I'm also ending this poll. Also, thank you so much again, Dr. Tejesh, for this session.
Thank
Great.
you, dear.
We'll call it a day here. I'll see you in another session. My name is Aparna. And again, thank you all from wherever you've joined or joining the session. Bye-bye. Have a good day.